One of the significant dilemmas for believers in the Bible is the issue of evil. If God is both loving and powerful, why does evil exist in the universe? Did God create evil, and if so, why? Wouldn't that make him a malevolent deity? One alternative explanation is that God is a benevolent deity but lacks the power to eradicate evil. This implies that God is benevolent, but not omnipotent. Is it a matter of God being unwilling to stop evil, or is it a matter of God being unable to stop evil? There is actually a third option. God is not evil and he is not restricted in his abilities. If God created evil, it would reflect poorly on his character. However, this is not true. Evil originated from sin, which was not desired by God in the universe. Christianity acknowledges the existence of evil. Christianity acknowledges the presence of evil, a concept not always acknowledged by other religions. Both the Old and New Testaments of the Bible recognize that the world is currently in a state of evil. Humans are accountable for wickedness. However, the source of evil does not come from God, but from humanity. When God made humans, he granted them the freedom to choose whether to follow his commands or go against them. When Adam and Eve decided to go against God's will, they introduced sin into the world. Evil is not something that is produced or made, but rather it is an action or a form of relationship. Was evil created by God? One scripture passage suggests that God is the creator of evil. In the King James Bible, Isaiah 45 verse 7 states the following passage. I bring forth light and bring forth darkness. I bring peace and create evil. I, the Lord, am responsible for all of these things. However, this is not the exact wording in the original Hebrew text. The term evil is translated as the word arose. It also refers to sadness, tragedy, misfortune, suffering, and hardship. Modern interpretations have accurately rendered the passage using a different word in English, as shown in the following example. I control both light and darkness, prosperity and disaster. I, the Lord, am responsible for all these occurrences. Isaiah 45 verse 7. Therefore, the scriptures do not indicate that God created evil. God granted mankind the freedom to choose. God did not create evil, nor is he responsible for the evil in the world. God could have created people as robots who would only react when God commanded them to do so. However, that would not provide any importance to humanity. God chose to create humans with the ability to make their own decisions regarding whether or not to follow him. Evil was the decision made by humanity. Moreover, a significant portion of the negativity in the world can be attributed to the personal decisions made by individuals. God cannot be held responsible for murder, theft, lies, or other similar actions. People make a choice to engage in these actions and should be responsible for their actions. Natural calamities occur as a consequence of a flawed world. What about earthquakes, floods, volcanoes, and famines? While natural disasters like earthquakes and famines are not directly caused by humans, humanity indirectly contributes to their happening. They happen as a consequence of our wrongdoing. When sin entered the world, everything was impacted. Suffering and evil are closely connected. The flawless condition has now been marred by wrongdoing. The Bible states that the whole of creation is currently experiencing suffering. The Bible acknowledges the existence of evil, but states that God did not create it. Evil arose from the decisions made by humanity. Natural disasters are a consequence of mankind's inherent wrongdoing. As a result, God cannot be held responsible for the ongoing presence of evil. Humans are responsible, either directly or indirectly, for evil actions. One could argue that it was God who led Saul to this point. In the end, the Bible confirms that God also made Pharaoh's heart stubborn, Exodus 7 verse 3. However, it is evident that Saul, just like Pharaoh, was ultimately responsible and accountable for how he reacted to the situation. This is another example of the mysterious connection between human free will and God's sovereignty. According to the Westminster Confession of Faith, God ordains all that happens without causing sin or limiting free will, but rather affirming the freedom and unpredictability of secondary causes. The creation eagerly anticipates the revelation of the children of God, as it was subjected to decay not by its own choice but by the will of another. It hopes to be set free from its bondage to decay and to share in the freedom and glory of the children of God. We are aware that all of creation has been suffering with labor pains up to this present time. Not only the world, but we also, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, inwardly groan as we wait for the adoption and redemption of our bodies. He has the ability to take action against wrongdoing. If God is truly good, why does evil exist in the world? Is it because God is not truly good, or is it because God lacks the power to eradicate evil? This question implies that God is either incapable or unwilling to confront evil. But that is not true in either scenario. God is definitely capable of addressing evil. The Bible tells us that God is omnipotent. Behold, I am the Lord, the God of all living beings. Is there anything that I cannot do? The issue is not God's ability to handle evil. He has repeatedly shown that he is capable of putting an end to wickedness. God is a deity of love who looks after his followers. The scripture conveys that God always has humanity's best interests at heart in every decision he makes. Why does Isaiah 45 verse 7 mention that God created evil if everything God created was good? The Hebrew word arose, translated as evil, in the King James Version of Isaiah 45 verse 7 has dual meanings in the Bible. The term can refer to moral evil, such as wickedness and sin, or to harmful natural events like calamity, misfortune, adversity, affliction, or disaster. Isaiah's words are often interpreted to mean that he brings both success and disaster, well-being and calamity, good times and bad times. God does not cause moral wrongdoing. One important point is that moral evil is not an entity that is created, but rather a decision or intention that goes against God's good intentions, his pure nature, and his commandments. Immoral actions go against God and his intentions. God is benevolent and divine, so his intentions and goals are benevolent, divine, and compassionate. God, as the ruler of the universe, occasionally brings about disasters to fulfill his divine purpose. He brought about calamity to discipline his followers when they betrayed him and showed no remorse. He vowed to use Cyrus to bring destruction to Babylon in order to help his chosen people return to their homeland and rebuild their cities. God, as the ultimate ruler over all earthly kings, has the power to bring about light or darkness, as well as peace or calamity. He can utilize Cyrus as a tool for bringing redemption and peace to Israel, while also acting as a catalyst for calamity in Babylon. God moved outside of Israel's borders, choosing a global superpower that did not acknowledge his authority to fulfill his greater plans for his kingdom. Cyrus would serve as the divine tool of the Lord to share the message of God's righteousness and salvation to all corners of the world, from the east to the west. Cyrus may have been the messenger, but it was God who created and designed everything. God's complete control over both good and bad circumstances, including success and adversity, for his people Israel gives believers hope in their lives today. We can have faith in the belief that God orchestrates all things for the benefit of those who love him and follow his calling. His ultimate goal is to help us grow and develop spiritually. Our experiences can appear positive or negative, calm or chaotic, but God pledges to shape them all, including hardships, troubles, and challenges, for our ultimate good. What constitutes evil? What then constitutes evil? It appears to be acts such as murder, torture, rape, and slavery that we can all identify. When we witness someone in a position of power mistreating, belittling, and degrading others without cause, we acknowledge that it is wicked. Evil can be described as the absence of good, accompanied by a desire for harm to be inflicted upon another living being, all in relation to a supreme standard of good that originates from God. God is the creator of life, our source of comfort. He bestowed upon us the gift of procreation, granted us freedom, and adorned humanity with a dignity surpassing that of any other creature. Contrarily, killing is the deliberate and unjustified act of taking another person's life. Torture is the complete absence of comfort. Rape is the violation of the act of reproduction without mutual consent and affection. Slavery is the forced domination of individuals by depriving them of freedom, and humiliation and abuse are the stripping away of respect and honor. Evil is not a standalone entity, but rather a subtractive, leeching, parasitic concept. God did not intentionally create evil, but he gave human beings the ability to choose to do evil. The ability to choose to do wrong does not make one inherently evil, but it does create the potential for evil to manifest. Evil is defined by the lack of good. Evil is typically seen as a tangible concept, originating from the intentions of individuals with corrupt minds who strive to defy the ideals set by God. However, it ultimately relies on God's goodness, making it simply a description of a rebellious mind seeking its own path. Evil stands in contrast to love. Thank you for watching. Please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing for more positive content like this. Goodbye for now and see you in the next video.